Hello, beautiful human. You just clicked on our interview with 5 Seconds of Summer, and these guys are incredible. They formed a band back in 2011 right here on YouTube, and now they sell out arenas and stadiums all over the world, and I learned a lot about them and from them, and I'm excited for you to watch this interview. So leave your honest feedback in the comments section below, and we also have a podcast, link in the description, and if you like what you watch, subscribe. Okay, enjoy.
Let's do this. Zach Show.
We got Heather.
Hi.
We have Dan.
What's up?
We have Luke. We have Michael. We have Callum. We have Ashton. We have 5 Seconds of Summer.
Oh,
Band is back together.
Yeah.
Hello. Welcome.
What's up? Thanks for having us.
Thanks for doing this.
What's up?
Want You Back is the new single.
Yeah,
Congratulations.
Thank
Thanks.
you. Thank you
Complete
very
new sound, right? I
Yes.
think.
Kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was just like a natural progression for us. Had to do something different, and I think we went back and tried to make a bit more piano added. Everyone started playing a bit of piano, getting sick of guitars, and I think it was just evolving, but staying true to our roots, but then making something that we were comfortable playing in our 20s.
Why is it important for you to evolve at this point? Because you guys, I mean, it's crazy to say this, but you still are new as a band. I mean, not too new because you started 2011, but it's still, I mean, in a lifespan of a band that could be around forever like you guys, you're really still at the beginning.
Yeah. I mean, we're all, it's like just early 20s now. And, we've still got a long time to go, I think, and we've still got like more evolving to do. But I think with each record you put out, you should try and make sure that you change and nothing stays like stagnant and boring. And I think, we're trying to adapt to where music is at right now, and I think that's like what Want You Back does really well as well.
Before you go into the studio to create this next, chapter in your journey, do you study what else is out there? Do you see what else is streaming and what's being played on the radio?
There's different people in the band that have different kind of approaches towards evolving. Whereas for me, I always go back in time because music repeats itself just in certain types of ways, especially songwriting-wise. So I was looking for, even concept-wise, I go back in time to like the 50s, etc. But then, Michael's good at paying attention to where stuff's at the moment. And that's why it's a collaborative process in a band. I mean, you need guys who pay attention to different things and guys who respect different parts of music that you don't necessarily at the same level.
Yeah.
You guys are all musical people. You all lend vocals to the records and to the live performances, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your story it really fascinates me because I was making radio around the time that you guys were forming back in 2011. You were making YouTube videos. It started the three of you, right? I was watching
We were awful.
I watched a lot of like your first videos, like when you were first naming the band.
Oh God.
It was 5 Second Summer was an original. It wasn't 5 Seconds of Summer.
You know what? It probably was that at some point, but before that it was even worse names. Like, I think everyone had a band called Stuck in Reverse, and it was that for a while.
I was in that band, but it was a different band.
Sorry I had to watch that. But
Our apologies.
We apologize deeply.
Yeah, but I did my own version of those types of YouTube videos 11 years ago, right? That kind of laid groundwork for where I'm at today. And I think that's the coolest part about our generation is that we had this stuff at our fingertips, that really we could build whatever we wanted out of it. Whatever we wanted and whatever our dreams were and whatever we wanted our lives to be, we could make it that because we had the internet. We had the public, literally, I mean, just, a few clicks away, literally. Whose idea was it to go to YouTube?
I posted a few on my own when I was like 14 or something, and there was like, it wasn't anything big. And then I remember Michael came up to me and was like, we went to the same school, and Michael was like, hey man, like, why don't we do a video together?
I was capitalizing at that point.
Yeah,
He was a
businessman. I was like, yeah, whatever. So, and then Michael was friends. I was friends with Cal too, but not really as much. So
kind of sucked.
Michael was friends with, and Callum hated me. And Michael was friends with Callum, and he was like, "Yeah, I got this friend Cal. Maybe he can come do something as well." And that's kind of how that started. I don't know. And then Michael just named the band 5 Seconds of Summer. I don't know. It was kind of weird. It wasn't like we're starting a band and we're gonna go tour and stuff. It was more like, let's just go like play some stuff and see what happens.
I
don't
mean,
know.
the only reason that the band even had a name is because we wanted to put stuff up, and we couldn't just put it up without a name.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You need a YouTube channel name.
Yeah. Which I don't think we changed until like last year. Anyway.
Yeah. But then Ashton came in and kind of was like, you guys have like something cool. We could make something cool. And kind of like dadded us and like made everything kind of happen.
I was the record label before the record label.
Yeah, because we were just like I was like a couple years older. It was like I don't know. We were just like messing about.
You guys are gonna be stars.
I see a big future for you.
What we got here? We got a rock band with a pop vocalist. All right, I can work this.
How'd you come into the picture? How'd you meet?
It's a good one.
I was on a similar path to Luke, except I was incredibly unpopular on YouTube. I uploaded covers for a long time. I was in the multi-platinum selling band Swallow the Goldfish.
Wow.
And we were killing it, honestly. We were playing
$50 a show.
Yeah.
That's more than we were getting.
Well, we were getting up to $220 a show.
That is good, actually.
And so I'm out here making bank, and I think I think I could really contribute to this other band, but I'm just not getting enough views for anyone to take me seriously. So one day, Michael Clifford messages me because he's heard of my drumming greatness in the district, local legend.
Word has spread, yeah.
Word has spread that this guy is like he's blowing everyone out of the water.
Swallow the Goldfish.
And Swallow the Goldfish was going on hiatus because my guitarist was more concerned with building air conditioning units.
That's called fate.
And I said, please don't give up on me, but he did. It's all good. So yeah, I joined the band, came in, a very intense, visionary type person. So that's where I came into play with 5 Seconds of Summer.
Wow.
That sounded like a lie.
That's actually what happened.
That's exactly what happened.
Michael wrote out like a Facebook message.
He oversold it by a mile too. He said, hey man, you want to come and play to 250 people sold out?
It's gonna be freaking huge.
12 people that turned up.
We were
Dope
off.
show though.
Could have been 250.
That's
though.
funny. We haven't said that story since like the last interview we had, or even so. I forgot about that
was
story.
like 10 years
We
ago.
don't just sit around talking about the first time we met. So it's funny.
But like it takes that type of attitude, right? This idea of like, we're playing to 250 people, we're gonna be something. You got to kind of put it out there,
Totally.
for it to be. I mean, you can make all this music, then wallow and be like, 2 people showed up, and this is where we're at.
And that's the thing with us is we've always like told people what we want to be. Like I remember when we were like we'd been a band for like 6 months or whatever, and we were going into meetings with like managers and record label people, and we were being like, we're gonna be the biggest band in the world, and they're like, I don't know about that.
Have you seen your acne? I mean, my skin. Oh, sorry about that.
How old are you? Like
The
12?
bane of my existence. So you and this 12-year-old are gonna be the biggest band in the. But it's been a funny journey. There's little bumps in the road, obviously, but we've always kind of spearheaded the dream overall, and yeah, definitely attempted to execute the big talk that we have.
What was the motivation behind continuing to perform and continuing to post, even if your performances were in front of 25 people? What was that motivation for you guys to keep going?
I've always spoken about 5 Seconds of Summer as kind of escapists, or it's the whole thing's escapism. Like we didn't want to be where we were. We wanted to change our lives, and we did. That's just how it worked. And our main focus always was live show and songwriting, and being as good as people we looked up to at the time. Like we were looking up to rock bands. As you do when you're a young musician. And yeah, that's where the motivation came from. And when kind of escapism proves itself to work, you kind of just stay there. You stay there and you keep pursuing something that was unattainable, but now you've attained it, and you just chase it down. It's addictive.
Does that motivation remain the same today?
Yeah, I think especially after because we had toured for like 4-5 years straight, like after the first and second album, and then we finished the tour in 2016, like October in Australia, and we're like, we had like a month or 2 off, and then we went back in the studio at like the start of 2017 to make an album, and we were just like it was the most was weird. It was the most motivation that I've had personally. I think all of us have had to make something like it's had to be the greatest thing that we'd ever done.
Yeah.
Like it was pushing ourselves every day. It was really like 2017 was not a fun year.
Oh, it was a train wreck for us.
So
Really?
it was just like because we didn't get Want You Back. Not that that's like the be all end all song. It is the first single, but like we didn't get that song until I don't know, like August or something. So like writing for all that time, like so many things got thrown out, like personal issues and like all that kind of thing. And it took a long time to finally get like a vision and have all the kind of songs line up. It took a while to get there, so it was like a bit worrying for a while when you're like, oh my god, what's gonna happen? We're like a band with no songs right now.
And you've been doing it, 9 months at that point.
Yeah.
What is the room like when you guys are writing? Does it start with one story that somebody comes with, one focus, and then everybody adds?
When you're a songwriter, your songs are gifts in my head, and you receive them in different ways. Everyone's different. Everyone's mind works different, but I know for me, I just hear the chords in the song in general all at once. It all comes together in my head, and I try to articulate it to the band because there's different kind of musical parts that need to be, played with each band member's personality. So we put that together, but everyone hears a new song differently. It's comes in different ways.
But you're coming with chords, so you're not coming with lyrics, right?
Yeah, it's lyrics. Well, what I'm saying is, in my head, I'll hear a fully formed chorus or song or something,
wow.
and then try articulate it to make the song. Yeah,
Kind of depends on the day. Like sometimes you just come in with like something that you want or need to write about, concept or lyrical wise, and then sometimes it's like chords or a melody. So it kind of depends. But yeah.
Does everybody have their role in the room?
Not necessarily, but everyone has their strengths and weaknesses. And having written with these guys for, 6-7 years, we kind of know the roles we play. So, for example, if I'm struggling with a lyric, Ashton's really good with lyrics, so I'll be like, can you take this away for 10 minutes and work your magic?
Or as well, as a collaborative experience, I know that I write best or fastest as well if Callum's playing piano and I go in and it's just me and him for a second. Or I know I write best with Luke on guitar, and it's just like little things like that. And I know I write best when my idea when Michael doesn't like my idea, I fight for him to like my idea, and then it turns out great, which is the weirdest. Like you find out these little things that work best songwriting wise.
Isn't it special to have a group of people that you creatively feel free around and safe around? I'm
Yeah.
assuming that is the energy
Totally.
between the four of you.
Totally.
Yeah, it's great to be able to have an idea and then someone be able to tell you that it's not good, or it's good, obviously. But because sometimes you come into like a big songwriter and you don't want to show them some things sometimes, especially when we were younger. But with these guys, it's like they can just be like, oh, I don't really like that, and you'd be like, oh, okay, cool. Then you make something else. So it's like like you said, like a safe place.
Yeah, and it's
Your
also
safe
like,
space.
it's also like because we've known each other for so long, like there's no like we don't get offended by anything anymore, because I think it's just like we understand that there's nothing personal about not liking this part of a song or whatever, you know what I mean? It's just like we don't think that that's good, and then it's like, okay, let's figure out how we can all like it. You know what I mean?
So who wrote Want You Back, and what's the story behind the new single?
Want You Back, we wrote with a guy called J Cash, you may have heard of.
Wrote all the Meghan Trainor stuff. All about that bass originally.
Well, I guess
We did.
that's not what I know him for.
Well, that's where I know him from. Sorry.
But yeah, I guess he must have as well. Yeah, but yeah, we did it with a friend called Andrew Goldstein and a lady named Asia Whitaker, who I think was on Starving or something by Haley Steinfeld.
Okay.
But great songwriters and a friend of ours. And it just started on the on the piano, like with those chords at the start. I don't know if you guys have heard it, but yeah, but that started with the piano chords, and just that kind of rambling in the first verse, and it kind of turned into a melody. I don't know, it started like that.
The chorus is interesting because there's a story that two friends of ours, they were really struggling for a single. And they said, we'd never done a falsetto chorus before, which is like head voice, which is what you hear in Want You Back. And it's just this one little tricky thing that you can default to and try do something that your band just doesn't usually do, and that's where the whole chorus came from melodically, which was cool, and it worked this time. So it's our first single, obviously, but it's an interesting little process.
I mean, it's obviously telling a story. You're talking to an ex that you want back, right? I mean, you're or somebody in your life. It could be anybody.
Yeah, and it's like the contrast between the verse of like being, like I was saying, like the rambling and the kind of the like being stuck in your head about it, and then the chorus kind of opens up with the, you know, the whole the falsetto thing.
I was saying yesterday, the song kind of, for me, feels like the frustration of the first time you fall in love, like real love, and it kind of determines where you go in your relationships for the rest of your life. It's kind of like the tastemaker for your relationships in the future. And I think the chorus is the frustration of not finding that again. The thing you had first that was so special. You know, it's not the actual person. It's like the feeling of.
Yeah, I feel like there's so many different ways to kind of look at. Like for me, when I listen to that song, it means so many different things. So it could also be like the acceptance of the start of a new chapter as well. Yeah. And not being in denial that everything's over, but being like, all right, this is what we had, and I'm grateful for it, but now it's time to
move on.
Yeah.
Why'd you guys choose this to be the first single that you released?
Musically, it allows people to gently go towards our new sound. Okay. Which is cool. Like, we were trying to be smart about it. Like, we don't want to release something that's 1,000 feet away from what we used to do. I think the song feels really appropriate for introducing everyone to our new album.
Got to ease people in.
Yeah, exactly.
Ashton, as the drummer, it doesn't seem like the drums are as heavy on this as they used to be.
No, which is cool.
Yeah, you like that.
Yeah.
But the groove is stankier.
Yeah.
I like that.
I think the most important thing on this album is us growing as musicians. Is we're always serving the song. It's not because of angst or teenage angst anymore, which our second record was. We were pissed off that people didn't think we could play our instruments, so we released basically a progressive rock album.
Showed them.
I guess some people were just like, I like the first stuff better, actually.
Whatever.
But we love that second album. It's just, this is a natural progression for us, and it feels right.
How would you describe that next sound step? I mean,
it's focusing on being smart about the guitars, and it's more of a growth songwriting wise, and what we've learned and where we can take the lessons, you know, in future music that we make. We've used so many other kind of inspirations musically on this record that we haven't had a chance to do yet. I mean, they didn't suit us before, but now they do. Got it. Which is cool.
Are you nervous about the new sound, though, since you have such a massive fan base from what you've done in the past?
I don't know. It's hard to answer. I'm not anymore because we've sat in the songs for so long and I've played them to so many people. But we're all so proud of it. So I don't know. I'm not nervous at all. I think it's all pretty great. So I think it's okay. I don't know. Are you guys nervous?
It's the type of thing where you gotta just stand and look people in the eye and say, "Yeah, I love this. This is what I love."
I like the confidence.
But it has to be that. Otherwise, people will walk over the top of you with music. Like, this is what we made. It took us 2 years, and we're gonna stand behind it. So. But
you also have legions of fans who want you. They want to be with you through life, and your music, like you said, the last album was teenage angst. Your music reflects where you're at in that moment in life, and they love you, and because they like you, they like your music, and I think. Like you said, if there's confidence about it and this is your work and it's attached to you, it's a part of you. Yeah. People are going to appreciate it and respect it.
I think, I think, you know, we've kind of grown up with our fan base as well. Yeah. Like when we released our first album, we were like 17 or 18. And then I think, you know, people saw our kind of personalities and lives kind of change, and that was where the second record was born from. And I think now all of our fans have gotten older, and so have we. And, you know, I think it's kind of like maturing in a way, but without like maturing.
Yeah. I also wouldn't see this record as what we left behind. I would see it as where the two records took us to. That's what it is.
Yeah.
It's not like we're not flipping, like we're not purposely changing. It's just where we are.
Yeah.
What's been the biggest musical challenge for each of you since this journey began? Because you've pushed yourself as musicians. Like I'm sure you've accomplished things that you might still think to yourself, "Holy I did that." You know,
Yeah.
I pushed myself there.
We worked with a producer called John Feldman for most of our career, and the bond we had with him musically, like making 2 albums with someone, is unbreakable. It lasts forever.
Yeah.
But it's also, I felt as though it was an apprenticeship period with John, and we were learning how to be songwriters, producers, performers in our own kind of respect. So I said to the band, well, we spoke about it, and we needed to walk away and accomplish this on our own this time. We needed to find someone or new people to work with. We needed to push ourselves so we can become individually self-sufficient songwriting-wise, production-wise, and as individual artists, we need to learn about each other and see what we can actually accomplish without kind of a father figure.
It's a safety net.
Guiding the band, yeah. So that was the most scary thing about walking away from someone who kind of helped direct the vision. We walked away from that, came up with the vision ourselves, and ran with it. And we had a lot of failure in the first kind of year of writing this album, which was frustrating. But it led us to the place we're at now, which is, I think, the best thing we've kind of ever done.
You need that failure.
Yeah.
What was? I mean, you talk about the last year writing this album as a tough one. I mean, how tough did it really get?
Well, it was such a different to anything. Since I was like 15 and the boys were 16 or whatever. So I don't know what it was.
I was 48.
Ash was 48.
You look great.
Since then, we've just been touring, like in a bus, in a hotel, or living together in a house, wherever it may be. So it was a different year. We all kind of had our own places, and it was like, I don't know. It was like too quiet or something. It was like being like kind of spat out at the end of this. End of these 2 albums and the 2 tours, and kind of just being like, okay, well, this is like normal life now, and having to make an album under those circumstances was the best and the hardest thing.
Well, the craziest part is, like, picture being wherever you were at 17 years old, picked up, swung around the world 6 times, and then like I'm nearly 24 now, which is insane.
Old. You're so old. Yeah.
No, if you picture like who teaches you how to be.
Nobody does. No, you have to learn as you go.
Yeah, so we worked it out in a really, really weird circumstance.
And the 4 of you probably become stronger through those years than anything else.
Yeah,
right.
Totally.
You rely on. I mean, were you relying on your families? Did your families go on tour with you? I mean, what is that relationship like? Because you're right. You did 2 global stadium tours, arena shows. Well, you did 7 shows in your hometown.
If you picture it like this,
sold out.
I think if you picture it like this, we did One Direction's first big tour. We did their second big tour, and they're not even a band anymore, and we're still going. We did our 2 massive tours, and then it's just been like, it's touring at that kind of velocity when you're that age is gonna mature you real quick. It's also going to make you smart about the music you want to make in the future, and I think that's where the musical kind of wisdom and influence comes from.
Do you remember your first arena show?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. We opened for 1D at the O2. They had it was like ridiculous. We knew they were big, but like walking into that, they were playing like 10 O2s or something, which is like a massive arena. It's like playing this like Staples Center.
Yeah.
Which collectively is like 300-something thousand people, which is...
And they were playing matinees, like one at lunchtime and then one at dinner. I was just like, this is like
which
ridiculous.
Is
unreal.
Yeah, it was crazy. I just remember like right before we went on stage, we played it pretty cool before we went on stage. We're like, yeah, we got this. Like, no worries. Like,
We've
high
always
fives,
been like that.
high fives all around. We're like, we're good. We get on stage, and I think it was like one of the only shows where we've just got on stage and like none of us moved. We just like stood there and just played the set. And then afterwards we were like, all right, that's done. And then it was
we got
like,
9 more to go.
Yeah, and then it was just like, let's figure out how to make it good.
Yeah.
Who was that first person that said, "Hey, you need to be bigger," or literally plucked you out of obscurity? Who was it?
Really, Ashton.
Well, for real, Ashton was probably the first one that actually was
Well,
like.
I'm just a crazy person. I think, you know, you have a feeling and you got to trust your intuition with things. And I felt when I met these guys that we should give everything up and do this. And I don't know why, and we don't know why. We just felt like that. It's just this thing that we felt, and we hunted and we chased it down, and it led us to here. You know.
Would you say Louis Tomlinson changed your life with that tweet?
There was a lot of conversation. After that, after that, it's yeah, he definitely did, but they didn't change our lives in like the sense that they shared a stage with us.
Yeah.
They changed our lives in the sense that they gave us a chance to learn lessons that would, you know, make us the best band we could be. And it's what you do with the opportunity. It's not like, you know, how it's given to you. It's like
I think, you know, if we would have got up there and played with them for that tour, and we would have been like the crappiest band in the entire world, then nothing would have changed for us. You know what I mean? And I think it was like our ambition that drove us to be good, and you know, like playing alongside them, who every night we would watch them play to like crowds of 20,000 people, and it was like, all right, how do we get to that point?
Yeah,
you know?
I remember before every show, Ashton would always go to me. Ashton, thinking back, Ashton is a crazy person, because Ashton would go, "Oh, we're gonna play next year," and I was like, yeah, okay, I believe you, but I'm like, you know, a little bit whatever about it.
I'm skeptical, Ash.
I'm skeptical, Ash, and then we did.
We played 2 of them. Not 11 of them, but we played 2 of them.
It's pretty good.
How do you measure success now that you have those types of accolades under your belt?
It's very first person. It's like a handshake, and when someone looks you in the eye and they just say, "Love it." That's it. That's all. It doesn't matter what anyone says elsewhere. Like, just as long as people right in front of me are feeling what we're doing, and you know, I really like looking from the drums. I look forward and I look at Luke singing these songs, and I look to my right and there's Michael and Callum. And the thing I'm most proud of is how we can still be together and still be hungry for what we haven't achieved yet.
Why was it important for you guys to like rebrand and change the logo and update that?
I don't know. I think
it's just all new. Like, we just want everything to be fresh, you know. And I think, you know, people wouldn't want to see us do the same crap over and over again, you know. So I think with the music kind of having an evolution, I think it's time for our visuals to have an evolution as well.
Yeah, I wanted it to be simple and easy to kind of
It's much sleeker and simpler than the old one.
Just like easy to digest, like with the music being different and us even looking a little bit older and like different, like kind of dressing a bit different. I think it was just important to have everything kind of, I don't know, sleek and just be like easy to follow as well.
It needed to feel comfortable for us too. Like, we need to feel great about what we're doing.
Yeah.
So that's why everything's kind of it has a new aesthetic to it.
So whose face is that on the new artwork?
That's
for the
Luke's.
single? That's your face. I saw a lot of people trying to figure out. They're like, is it half someone else?
It was.
It's my schnoz.
How are you the chosen one?
We went through a bunch actually, and
I know I got vetoed. for about a week. My face was on the cover, and I text my mom. I'm like pretty stoked. Like my nose and my eye is on the cover. Like, look out, I'm coming for you. And then Matt himself, our manager, goes, "Yeah, man, I just think it's more because Luke's singing in this song. I think like he should be on."
Oh.
I'm like, okay.
Devastated.
There was one
almost.
Almost.
There was one that was actually just Ashton's crutch. Like, he had pants on, but like it was Ashton's crutch as well. That was gonna be it.
We recreated a Rolling Stones cover, which you can see on our Spotify as like our influences artwork. But yeah, was the Want You Back artwork was my crutch for a minute.
Hot.
So I listened to that Spotify influence playlist, and it seems like a lot of the songs are very like dark and have like this mysterious sound to them.
Yeah.
What does that say about the new music?
I think pretty much like the whole thing with this album, it feels like it's very dark and light, like melancholy. Like even this song, for example, is quite like in the chorus is quite upbeat and so on, but like all the lyrics are quite sad, and it's like it's always, and a lot of the songs, if not all, are quite that contrast of being like, I don't know, like a kind of emotional lyrics, but then like with major chords or vice versa. Yeah, that's one of the reasons.
Yeah.
Do we have a date yet for the new album?
We
No.
do. You don't.
That works.
Sick burn.
No, there's like some sort of
date.
date. I don't know what it is actually, so I couldn't even tell you.
How did
I
you
know
guys?
what it is.
You know what it is?
Mm-hmm.
Can you share?
No.
How did you guys feel when American Apparel went bankrupt and out of business? They had such an impact in your lives.
Terrible, man.
Pretty depressing, man.
Was it?
Terrible.
Honestly, the thing that keeps me up at night is that we didn't.
They blew it.
We
man.
did not. We did not capitalize on that as
Like-
we should have.
Well, they didn't capitalize on it either, and it's
Apparently not.
Business.
They had no money to give you.
not even a partnership.
Yeah, exactly.
Nothing. Didn't so many American Apparel underwear signed in that 2-year period?
Not even a tweet. Nothing. That's total like, oh, we don't want nothing to do with that.
I heard that they like purposefully don't play that song in their stores.
Well, they can't. They're
Really?
closed now.
Well, now,
Well, maybe
yeah.
they should have.
Yeah.
Maybe they should have tweeted.
You guys
Hey,
probably gave
well-
them so much business though.
Too late now. Oh, we know. They're gone now.
Specifically,
Depressing.
men's underwear.
You are the momager back there, and I love it.
The pink shirt.
Ashton the momager Irwin.
Just carry.
That's good.
You need a fanny pack. Does the new broken scene still exist? And is it still broken?
That's a good
Did you
question.
have that question written down?
Well, I wanted to know what is the broken scene, but
Did
I
you
think
fix
that-
the scene yet? Is what we're
I think that
asking.
was kind of what sort of existed with our last record, and that was kind of the basis of it's still broken.
It's always broken.
Answer is it's
broken,
always
right?
going to be broken, and it's always going to be new. Aside from, so I think that was kind of our concept with the last record was like, we had so many fans during the first album that we released that would come up to us and say like, you helped me through like such really bad depression and stuff like that. And then I think as we hit the second record, we'd been on the road for like what felt like forever and like just working every single day. And I think it kind of sent us a little crazy as well, and it kind of like gave us our own sort of problems that we had to deal with as well. And I think by making that second record about like that kind of overarching concept of everyone experiences the same sort of like issues as everyone else, and I think like having that sort of sense of community within our fan base was so important for that album. And
and it's special.
Yeah, we needed to feel like they were with us no matter what. So we needed to create an album that, created a sense of, it's kind of like I don't like the word revolution. That's kind of gross, but it
Dirty word.
yeah, it just felt like we needed to solidify what the fans mean to us and what we meant to them. So. Yeah.
The community you've built is it's incredible. It's remarkable, and I've been interacting with them on Twitter for the last week or so. And
How they doing?
I mean, they're incredible human beings, and they're passionate. And
they are
I have a lot of
very,
questions from them that they want answered.
very passionate.
Okay.
Are you
them?
guys still gonna punk jump? That is from Valen.
Yeah, we asked ourselves
We
that.
thought about we had a band meeting a couple weeks ago, and we're like, do we still punk jump? I think we do. I think we punk jump like.
Very particularly.
Yeah, in the songs that we used to punk jump in, I think there'll be a punk jump or two.
7 years of punk jumping ain't good for your
What's
knees.
a punk jump? Is it just jumping?
Like the
It's not
jump
a
with the
just
guitar.
maybe legs come
the
apart.
legs.
Dude,
I
yeah.
gotcha.
Old
Okay.
school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's old school.
What else you got?
This person had a whole rundown. I actually took a screenshot, forgot to put their name in it, so sorry about that.
Oh.
But Michael, will your dyed hair ever be seen again?
Maybe.
It's mysterious. I like that.
Brooding.
Luke's lip ring.
No.
Oh,
No, I don't think
love the
so.
lip ring.
Why'd we retire that?
It just kept falling out, man. It kept falling out, and then I was
Not
like,
good. I feel like it's not good for like eating.
I liked it. I liked it a lot, but happens. You gotta let go.
Snake bites next time.
I'd look to like homeless if I had long hair and a lip ring, I think.
I get it.
Well,
Michael's eyebrow piercing.
No, it gave me a lot of skin problems.
Is this banned into like body modification?
The next one is.
What about Ashton's dermal?
No, we have Ashton's curls.
What? Well, that never. I mean, I don't know.
I
guess
get rid of
so.
those.
I see a
Ashton's
swoop.
curls.
If
There's a big curl at the front.
the head
today.
grows out.
How about Callum's blonde highlights?
Oh, I want that back.
No.
You look like you regretted that.
Oh, come on.
What?
Did you regret the blonde highlights?
I don't know. Should he have? What do you think?
No, I think it looks good.
You seem to have an opinion about it.
I just got a vibe from his face, you know?
And how about chocolate milk party? What's that?
Yeah, that's a good question.
That sounds creepy now.
That happens when you drink a lot and you no. I think
And a mommy and a
I don't
daddy.
know, that's called delusion.
That just sounds like something we've said when we were insane. What did you I think you said it?
No, I think it was
me.
It was
It was a very famous internet video, man. I was like, rise to the chocolate milk party. No,
There's that one. There's I want to be in the tribe. That's a big one of ours.
there's a lot.
some good memes. Good
Yeah,
five-star memes.
we're a
out there.
memeable band. I don't know when that was said, but I think it was just us in a dressing room saying it's a chocolate milk party.
Well, Ashton, as the momager, like you call yourself, what happened with the tweet with the wrong date? Did you guys see that? Somebody tweeted out the wrong date.
High pressure situations, mistakes.
Yeah. I mean, maybe, or was it planned by us to create more hype?
What? Yeah, it's a great way to cover it up.
Mhm. Yeah,
We ain't
exactly.
covering nothing up.
I ain't covering up.
Oh, what do you mean?
I tweeted it. I'll do it again.
And this is just random.
What?
Would you guys ever consider launching like a 5-sauce pasta sauce line?
That is a random question.
You know what?
Very random.
You know what has been we've been thinking about five socks. But the thing is, you only get 5, so you got to buy 2 pairs.
Oh, that's funny.
2 packets,
Oh,
yeah.
that's funny.
Two packets, sorry.
Comes in five.
Yeah, 5 plus 5 is 10.
5 sauce? What do you guys think?
Is it? No.
5 sauce. I mean, that's obviously when we have a bit of spare
5 sauce.
time.
Oh, we got those capital games.
Starting like a nice marinara, like
Yeah.
Arabiata.
Something to think about, you know?
We're a pretty carby band.
something to think about.
5 seconds of summer.
Woo!
I'd eat your pasta sauce. I listen to your music and
Thanks,
I enjoy
man.
it.
I'd eat yours too.
Thanks for coming by.
Sounds
Thank you
weird.
for having us. It's been fun.
Deeply appreciated. Want You Back is a single. We don't know when the album's going to hit. We don't even know a name. We know nothing.
Nope.
But it's,
I just thought of something.
It's
real
coming.
quick.
What?
When you guys thought to name it "Want You Back," did you think about like how there's the Jackson 5, "I Want You Back," NSYNC's "I Want You Back"?
I just went on YouTube because it said there was a bunch of leaked ones, and all of them are trolls, and it's the Jackson 5. There's actually a band, like a YouTube band that cover it, and it has our thing, like cover "Not Want You Back," like the Jackson 5 one, and I
Would
was
they
like,
put
that's
you
a
in it?
genius way to get like views.
look at that. That's called clickbait. Oh, you guys know.
Clickbait, yeah, nice buzzword.
Just going for it.
Buzzwords.
5 seconds of summer. Thanks for spending the time.
Thanks, guys.
Appreciate it.